Today's video is going to be good. Today I'll explain how I literally doubled my winners going from trades like this to trades like this. Before I used to miss almost the entire move. I'd make maybe a little bit of money, but then I'd miss the majority of the move. Now I sell almost at the top, and this is something that I pride myself in. And so today I'll share exactly what I do to try and capture as much of the move as humanly possible. The first thing I want to talk about is the psychology of a market cycle, because this perfectly explains exactly the trap that you're falling for, and I explain what the trap is and how you can stop falling for the trap. Now, let's think of a market cycle, right? Let's assume that you entered at this price level over here. The stock starts rallying up and up and up and up. At this point, you're extremely euphoric. You're like, this is amazing. I'm up $1,000, whatever. This is perfect. But you don't sell, and you don't sell for many different reasons. Maybe you're greedy, maybe you think it's going to go up higher, maybe you're scared, many different reasons. So you don't sell. And then the stock goes down a little bit. You're like, oh, okay, it's just a pullback. We'll keep holding. Then the stock goes up, right? You're like, see, I'm complacent. I told you it was just a little pullback. We're going to go back up. I'm going to be a millionaire. And then it starts to crash down. And now you're at the stage of denial. Now you're like, fuck, I should have just sold back when I was up 1,000. What was I thinking? Why didn't I sell? Blah, blah, blah. And so you keep holding because you're hoping that the stock rallies back up and it goes back to the same level. But it never does. And now you're angry. You're like, fuck. So this perfectly explains the trap that most of you guys are falling for. You guys are not selling based on a system. Most of you guys are entering based on a system. So you see the stock doing this, whatever, you're like, okay, now I need to enter. So you enter, stock goes up. So your entries are good because you're entering on a proven system. You've back tested the strategy, whatever. But your exit is like, when do I exit? I'm in the trade, but like, when do I exit? It's like getting on a train, but you're like, yeah, but when do I get out of the train? You need to go into the train with a plan. And that's exactly the trap that you guys are missing. Now, the whole point of showing you the psychology of a market cycle is to explain to you that your selling should never, ever be based on emotion. You should never sell because you're scared or you're happy or whatever. It should never be like that. You should only sell when your system says to sell. Now, most of the time, your system will tell you to sell when there's resistance. That's the strategy that I use. My strategy, if I see some resistance, that's when I'm instantly out. So don't be doing these things where you're basing your exits purely off just emotion, how you're feeling. That's not going to cut it. And another thing, I don't know if you guys do this, but this is just something that I've heard. Some of you guys use timers. So you enter the trade, you start like a 2-minute timer on your phone. And then once the 2 minutes are up, then you sell. What are you guys doing? Don't do this stuff. This is just beyond, like, don't even get me started. So don't be using a timer. You need to make sure that you sell when there's resistance. Don't sell based off emotion. Sell based off of resistance and your strategy and your system. Now, a quick heads up. I have my free trading bundle. This includes a free course. There's 3 ebooks inside. There's a trade tracker Notion template. So you can literally import all your trades, your entry price, your exit price, the ticker, everything. It's very good to journal. Most of you guys don't journal. Use this. It's completely free to journal. And there's a lot more inside as well. So if you do want it, click the first link in the description to get it. It's completely for free. So now let's talk about the things that I started doing to double my winners. The first thing we're going to talk about is the pre-market high. So let's head on to the charts. Right, guys, we're on TradingView. The ticker symbol is OPTX. So like I said, the first thing that I always do or try to aim for is pre-market high. So as you guys know, the strategy that I trade is trading gappers with a bull flag. So the pre-market high is marked right over here. These 2 places is pre-market. And I place the pre-market high as like a marker so it's very obvious on the chart. So what I do is I wait for the stock to go up as usual. I wait for a bull flag and then I enter it over here. Now, because I put a line on the chart, I don't need to constantly scroll back and be like, oh, what was pre-market high? I can just put the line once and then it'll always be there. So because the line is there, I can just wait and see what the stock does. Now, pre-market high over here is $3.44. So I've held the stock. I'm holding. It goes above pre-market high. It cannot hold pre-market high. It dumps down and it closes below. Now this signals obviously a lot of resistance. It tells me that the stock cannot maintain pre-market high. So it's very easy for me to be like, okay, well, I'm just gonna sell. And so I end up selling on this candle over here. Now, if I didn't see that pre-market high was here, if I deleted this line, for example, I'd be like, why is this stock finding so much resistance? What's going on? It's so confusing. But because I knew pre-market high is right over here, I knew, okay, it's finding resistance at pre-market high, I'm just gonna sell. And so I held the trade for way longer than I would have normally. Normally, I would have entered, been like, okay, let me just sell at high of day, which is right over here. I would have sold over here for like 2%. But because I knew pre-market high, we're super close to pre-market high, let me continue holding and see what it does to pre-market high. How does it react? Does it go up? Does it find resistance? What does it do? In this case, because it found resistance, I was like, this is a perfect indicator for me to sell. Because like I said, you only want to sell based on resistance, never on your emotions or a fucking timer or FOMO, none of the stuff. And based on the system, there was clearly a lot of resistance at pre-market high. That's when I sold. So that was pre-market high. Pre-market high is one of my favorite ones because it's so obvious and everyone can see it. It's amazing. The next one I want to talk about is half dollar, whole dollar resistance. Now pay attention to this one because nobody uses it. It's so obvious on the chart. It's so clear on the chart, but nobody uses it. But this is such a simple way to hold your winners for way, 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 way longer. Right, we're on the chart now. So BDSX is the symbol. Now I say it's simple and I say that for a reason because the answer is right over here and it's the price. If you look at this gapper, again, we're on the same gapper. I'm waiting for a bull flag, etc. You can see that the pre-market high, I've already put it. I've already put the line on my chart and I've entered the trade right over here. Now think about it. If I sold at pre-market high, I would have made 7%. Again, not a bad trade. It's a decent trade, nothing bad, nothing crazy. But I looked at the price and I was like, listen, we're at 825. Pre-market's at 825, 826. The next half dollar is going to be 850. The next dollar is going to be 9. Let me see how it reacts to 850. And if it's still bullish, let me see how it reacts to 9. And that's exactly what I did. Check this out. Stock kept going up and up and up and up and up. We reach 850 and it surges straight past 850. This is very bullish. Next candle opens at 860, squeezes all the way up, closes above $9. This is amazing. And then I exit my trade roughly around $9. So I took this trade from what could have been a 7% trade and I just held it for a couple more minutes and it ended up making 16%. I literally doubled the trade in just a couple of minutes. This is one of the sauciest things that I can give you. Nobody talks about this. Everyone likes to talk about indicators and all this other garbage. Nobody talks about this. This is one of the easiest ways to just double it because it's based on psychology. You have to realize there's so many sellers that look at $9 and they're like, yeah, this is the perfect time to sell. So you have all these sell orders at $9, $9. There's so much liquidity and there's going to be a lot of guaranteed resistance at that point. And so that's where you sell. If you didn't know this, you would hold for 2 minutes on your little stupid timer and you would sell for like 4%. And then your winners are 4%, your losers are 4%, your account doesn't grow. You need to hold your winners for as long as humanly possible. One of the reasons my account continues to grow is because my winners are massive. If I take a 16% winner like I did on this day, even if I take 4 losses that are all 4%, I'm back to break even. So I need to take 4 losses in a row to go back to break even because I hold my winners for as long as possible. But a lot of people I find, they keep their winners super tiny because as soon as they see some profit, they just sell. It's like, okay, I made $20. It's like, $20 is nothing. You have to hold for longer. That's the only way that your account is going to grow. It's never going to grow when you hold for tiny 2% here, 2% here. It's never going to grow. So make sure that you apply these techniques and you extend your winners because that's the only way your account is finally going to grow. So this is the exact strategy that you have to follow. Now my strategy is exactly this. I look for, like I said, gappers. The way I do that is through a gap scanner. Something that looks like this. It's the free one on TradingView. You don't need to pay for this. And I sort the scanner by gap percentage. And I can see all these stocks that are gapping up. That's the first thing I do. Then I wait for a buy signal. Like I said, I wait for a bull flag. Once I see a bull flag and I enter, then I wait for resistance. I only sell at resistance. I don't sell when I feel like it, FOMO, random stuff. I use the two techniques that I explained in this video. The first one's pre-market high. The second one is half dollar, whole dollar resistance. And these can easily double your winners. And when you double your winners, your account finally begins to grow. Right now, this is what's happening. Your winners are like this much, and your losers are this much. Winners are this much, so your account is it's just going sideways. It's not doing anything. And if you have 2 losses in a row, well, now your account is going negative and negative, negative. When you do this and your winners double, your account is going to look like this. Your winners are double the size, losers are half. Winners are double the size, losers are half. And then your account finally starts to go up. This is the way, by increasing the size of your winners. Now, if you're watching this and you're thinking, Draco, this is amazing, I want to learn more, then I invite you guys to join the community, the Draco Room. In this community, I literally teach you guys every single thing I know about trading. Look at all these wins that these people make using the same strategy that I just explained. Also, when you join the community, you also get live trades. There's hundreds of these videos. Every single trade that I take, I record it. So you can see exactly in real time when I enter, when I exit. And all these videos are available to watch. This is like insane knowledge. Like, I wish someone had given this to me when I first started trading. And this right over here is the best part of the community. It's the live movers section. Every single day, I literally tell you the exact stock that I'm going to be trading. Every single day. So to join the community, email me at thedracoroom@gmail.com, because every 10 members, we're increasing the price because I don't want too many people inside. So if you do want to get a cheap price, lock it in, email me right now at that email, and I'll try to get you a spot inside. So use the 2 tips that I mentioned. Aim for pre-market high and use half dollar and whole dollar resistance levels, and I think you're gonna love it. Thanks for watching the video. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.